One thing is for sure, while he may not be the GOAT yet, whether Patrick Mahomes wins or loses this game on Sunday, he will be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame one day. And the class of 2025 just announced their class for Canton. And of course, as they seem to do every year, maybe more than any other sport, there are some big-time snubs in this class. You guys know some of the ones that I've already been advocating for that I'm pissed that didn't get in. Rodney Harrison is a big one. Like, I'm such a huge Rodney Harrison fan. And while I think he's a little bit better than this next guy, I do think if you have Rodney Harrison in, you're going to need Darren Woodson in as well. Neither of them get in. Thankfully, Eli Manning has not come in yet, has not gotten in. But they did announce the class without further ado, because there's one other big snub that I want to get to in a second. But here is the class for the Pro Football Hall of Fame 2025, which I have clicked off the actual list here. So I need to Google it again. Here we go. Antonio Gates is a part of it. Jared Allen is a part of it. Who are the other ones? Sterling Sharp finally gets in. Even, Shannon, remember, was advocating for him for years. And the other being Eric Allen, the corner, notably with the Eagles, also played with the Raiders in that Snow Bowl game against the Patriots. Probably the first time two guys with the same last name got in the same year. You think that's right? Eric Allen, Jared Allen. But notably absent there is Adam Vinatieri in what would have been his first year as a finalist, I think. NFL's all-time leading scorer, Adam Vinatieri. The NFL's greatest ever kicker, Adam Vinatieri. And one of the most clutch players in the history of the sport, that Adam Vinatieri. Because I know this is not the end-all, be-all, but we're looking at guys. I mean, is there any Super Bowls between any of these guys? Sterling Sharp win one with the Packers over the Patriots? That it? Jared Allen didn't win one. Eric Allen, I don't think he won one. And Antonio Gates did not win one. It's not the end-all, be-all. Those guys probably should be Hall of Famers. I definitely think Jared Allen should be. Antonio Gates certainly has the numbers to be. But you weigh that with a guy like Eric Allen against a guy like Adam Vinatieri, and the resume, it's not really close. And Eric Allen was a great player. Don't get me wrong. And you want to make the argument that kickers aren't football players, whatever. They get spots in the Hall of Fame. And when you're talking about Vinatieri, you're not just talking about a kicker. You're talking about the greatest kicker ever. But Eric Allen, heck of a career. Eagles, Saints, Raiders. Did not win a Super Bowl. Made the second team All-Pro twice. First team All-Pro one time. One time. First team All-Pro. One time. And he gets in over three-time first team All-Pro, Adam Vinatieri. So you can say, yeah, kickers aren't football players, but hey, Eric Allen, corner, they have 2 or 3 positions on the All-Pro team, first team. Kicker has 1. And so he proved, Adam Vinatieri, that 3 times he was the best kicker, the best player at his position in the National Football League. And, mind you, again, the clutch kicks over everything. When we talk about the quarterback position specifically, what do we talk about? Numbers, impact on the league, and how clutch they were, how much they win, how much their teams win, how comfortable were you with the ball in their hands at the end of a game? That's how we hold the quarterbacks. That's the standard we hold them to. Adam Vinatieri at the kicker position has all 3 of those things. Against his peers, he was the best. 3-time all first team, All-Pro. Okay? In terms of the numbers, he's got 8 NFL records. He's the league's leading scorer in the regular season, the postseason, and all combined. And he kicked not 1, but 2 game-winning kicks in the Super Bowl. No one can say that. Maybe by Monday that comment is obsolete because Harrison Butker already has one, whether you like him or not. But Adam Vinatieri has the numbers, the longevity, and the Super Bowl championships, these Super Bowl game-winning kicks. Why can't a kicker be a Hall of Famer in the first ballot? Why not? Baseball, the stingiest of all of these sports when it comes to the Hall of Fame, just elected a singles hitter on the first time on the ballot almost unanimously, to the point where there's like threats against this guy who didn't vote for Ichiro. He's a singles hitter, a great player, but like that is equivalent to a quarterback, and singles hitter Ichiro did not win any World Series titles. He didn't even play in one. Adam Vinatieri got the game-winning single in 2. It's just like, and there is something to the Hall of Fame. You do need to earn your way in there, but I'm telling you, you want to denigrate the kicker position? Fine. Let's ask people in 20 years. Who do you remember more, Eric Allen or Adam Vinatieri? Put pictures side by side. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? Here's Adam Vinatieri kicking a game-winning field goal in the Super Bowl. You know, I mean, people will remember him more than Antonio Gates, probably more than Jaron Allen. And those guys do deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Certainly, they'll remember him more than Sterling Sharp, who was a damn good player. Like, all these guys deserve it to be in there. But Adam Vinatieri, like, I could make an argument for Vinatieri over Eric Allen and Sterling Sharp. And again, if we're talking about the big moments, Antonio Gates and Jaron Allen have none. So it's just weird. It's just weird that we have this thing where we can't put the kickers in. Yeah, it just sucks. Adam Vinatieri should be in. He should be in the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. I'm not that guy who gets sort of bent out of shape about that. Well, I kind of just did, but you know what I mean? Like, he'll get in, but to like tell me that Eric Allen deserves to be in over Adam Vinatieri, to me, it's just ridiculous. And it was not a Patriots year once again in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We knew Robert Kraft wasn't going to get in. Vince Wilfork. It just has to be a matter of time, because you want to talk about, again, greatest ever at their positions. Name me 3 nose tackles in NFL history better than Vince Wilfork. I'll wait. Okay? Or you want to go to the safety position? You know, name me 8 or 10 guys better than Rodney Harrison. I'll wait. And I'm not saying Rodney Harrison should get in on the first ballot. Certainly he didn't do that. He's been a finalist a couple of times. But you're telling me that guy's not a Hall of Famer? Tell me Darren Woodson's not a Hall of Famer? They've been on the ballot for years and years and years. Go ask anyone who Rodney Harrison played against. Get past the first 2 minutes of them saying, oh, he's dirty and this and that. And then ask him, yeah, but was he a hell of a football player? They'll tell you, yeah, that guy should be in the Hall of Fame. Ask anyone he played with. Because I know this is I'm going to get kind of Patriot schmaltzy here a little bit, but something that really impresses the shit out of me when it comes to Rodney Harrison is the fact that here was a guy who was Collinsworth. Here's a guy who came in who had already played 10 years in the league, right? He was already an all-pro, Pro Bowl kind of player, one of the most feared in the league and all that, a guy that you would hate to play against but love to have on your team. And he comes into a team in the Patriots that had already won a Super Bowl, that was already establishing their foundation, already had their leadership, right? Brady, Bruschi, McGinnis, Law, Malloy, obviously Belichick, Matt White, these kinds of guys, Joe Andruzzi. And he comes in there, and within his first few months on the team, he's elected team captain. And he sets an example, and he becomes one of the faces of the early dynasty. And so, again, we talk about the things that get you in the Hall of Fame. The numbers, tough to find safeties with better numbers than Rodney Harrison. You want to find a safety with more postseason interceptions, more postseason sacks, good luck. You can't do it. He's the most sacks by a defensive back in the history of the league. And maybe more suspensions, too. Or fines. He didn't really suspend very much. More sacks than any defensive back in the history of the league. And, oh, yeah, he did also win 2 Super Bowls. And was a huge part of that. In his 30s, coming onto a new team, was a big part of those Super Bowl defenses, which, by the way, that defense and that 2-year stretch, it's one of the greatest, if not the single greatest 2-year stretch in the history of the National Football League. Genuinely, man. 21 straight wins mixed in there, and back-to-back 17-2 seasons. Let's do the math there. That's 34-4 in 2 seasons. That's unfathomable most of the time. Like, even for this Chiefs team, that's pretty tough. Although they'll get pretty close, won't they? Well, they lost 1 game all year, 2 games all year. It's just, we're talking like all these Chiefs guys of any note, they're going to be Hall of Famers, right? And we'll see kind of how their careers develop down the line, whether some of these young guys like a Trent McDuffie or someone still is at that point. But like Mahomes and Travis Kelce and, Chris Jones will get some consideration. Joe Tooney is about to win his 5th Super Bowl. They'll get some consideration. And so it's so easy to point to these great dynasties and just say, put all of them in. Lord knows they did it with the Steelers. Lord knows they did it with the 49ers. They did it with the Cowboys. And yet we're cherry picking. We're not putting Vince Wilfork in yet. He's probably the best nose tackle ever. We're not putting Rodney Harrison in after all these years. One of the 8 or 10 greatest safeties ever to play. And why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? Adam Vinatieri, the top 1 kicker in the history of football. Morton Anderson is close to him in points, but then you factor in the Super Bowls. Adam Vinatieri has probably the most Hall of Fame resume of any finalist this year for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Most Hall of Fame resume. To me, it's really no doubt.
We are Rogue Media Sports.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. And if you like this video, be sure to give us a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel a ton. You can follow me on Twitter here for some more outrageous Boston sports takes coming to you every weekday at noon Eastern time. And then after that, wherever you get your podcasts.
We are Rogue Media Sports.